Hey love, you got your heart on your sleeve, but the shirt on your back's a bit small. Hey you, yeah, your colors are changing, the world ain't half bad after all. Na 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 na.
Hi, my name is Maya and welcome to episode 6 of the Summer Knitting Journals. We are in the kitchen today and not in the usual living room because we are gonna blend some stuff. I'm a bit hungry, it's time for my snacky snack and I figured why not try to blend something. I'm gonna try something different. I have bought, as I told you at the end of the last episode, I have bought kiwis, bananas, and that's it. But I have some apples. And yesterday night I cut a few bananas as well as a kiwi that I put in the freezer. So I have a frozen kiwi. I'm gonna cut this apple. And then I realized when editing the video that I should have put milk in the blend so that it would be less thick and more like easy to eat and just in general to blend. But I was like, can I really put milk with kiwi? Wasn't sure. So I looked it up and you absolutely can. You can absolutely put milk in a apple kiwi smoothie kind of thing. So I'm gonna try that. But I'm gonna do the small one because I just learned 3 minutes ago that I'm gonna leave in 15 minutes to go to the pump track in Bulle this time. So Bulle is the city where Mr. Tinks lives. I live in Lausanne and it's like 35 minutes drive, and my boss, who is the guy who does the pump track with us, he's gonna go there by car. So if I want to go with him, I have to be ready whenever he leaves. We live not too far from each other. So I need to hurry up with my thing. I completely forgot to tell you that we are starting in the kitchen because I wanted to do the blender thing, but also I don't have much knitting news since yesterday because I've been working on the secret test knit, and this morning I had to work until pretty late for my part-time job for my boss who's gonna get me to the pump track later on. So I just didn't have a lot of time to knit. That's it, let's get back to the smoothie. So I'm gonna cut this pomme, as we say in French. And then I have my frozen kiwi. By the way, I got questions about my t-shirt in the last... my thumb hurts. I can't open it. I got questions about my t-shirt in the last video, and it is true, I completely forgot to tell you what it was. It is the... This is not particularly clean. Oh, it's because I cut the kiwi with it, and there's a bit of kiwi fuzz on it. Whatever. It is the... Legs Stripe Tee by Ozetta, which I test knit for her when it came out in summer 2020. Oh, God. Summer 2024, and I knit it using Isager, something like that, 302, and the grey blue is Granite, and the green is green tea. And I'm obsessed with purple and blue together, so this is like one of my favorite t-shirts. I love it so much. I think I'm just gonna put half of the apple. Yeah, I think so. It looks a bit full already. I'm gonna try to add the protein powder. Just gonna try. I have no idea if it's a good idea or not, but let's do it that way. I'm too lazy to take out a spoon, so I'm gonna do it that way. All right. Then milk. How much should I put? Someone said in the comments, I think I should... Wait, that was a super smart advice. I need to like prepare the ingredients in a separate container, the one where I'm gonna consume it at the end, once I'm done blending. Fill the cup with the ingredients I have, and then fill the rest of the cup with the milk until all the ingredients are covered, and then put this in the shaker thing, And that's gonna be the perfect serving size for the glass or whatever I'm gonna drink it from, which makes completely sense. So there is a marking that says max here, which I'm obviously already past, but I'm gonna pour the milk until there, and hopefully it's gonna be enough. Maybe I should put some ice cubes too, because I did wait, I'm gonna put some ice cubes. Because I think the recipe I checked online did said I should add water. It's very difficult to take out an ice cube with one less thumb. So I guess water from the recipe can be replaced with an ice cube. Oh my god, this is a lot harder than I expected. One. Okay, this one is small. Ah! I understood the technique. You need to pull it from the bottom. Do I add cocoa? No, I don't. No oatmeal. I think that's it. I'm gonna blend it. All right. Look at that. It's just white. We're gonna do a taste test. I forgot the cream. It's alright, I put milk. It's gonna replace the cream. I need a Mr. Tinks. It's a bit over the max level. Oops. I'm a rebel. Oh! No. There are still clumps. Or are they? Yeah. That's a clump. No, it's not. Oh, yes, that is. Oh my god. I'm supposed to leave in 1 minute. I'm just gonna move this. I don't have one of those fancy Stanley cup or anything. All I have is a thermos because it has a lid. So I'm just gonna put that in the thermos. There's a little bit of tea inside, but whatever. Ooh. Oh! It's perfect! I did that on purpose. Alright, so since I'm gonna leave, I'm gonna have to stop filming, but I'm gonna take you with me. Hopefully I'm gonna be able to film a little bit, even though there's probably gonna be a lot more people in that particular pump track / skate park because it's a lot bigger. It's the one where I went this weekend and I couldn't film because there were too many people. So yeah, we'll have to see. But other than that, I think that's it. I'm gonna knit on the way there, unless he asks me to drive, which he does sometimes. But we will see. And I will update you on my knitting and all of that tomorrow probably, or maybe tonight, but probably tomorrow. So, enjoy the content and see you later. Did you see that? It's so cute. I don't even know how this came out of my brain. I had an idea. I had a basic idea. I wanted ski jumper, like oversized, drop shoulder, all over color work, that kind of stuff. And I wanted cats because I love cats. But I'm gonna talk about that again later. But I wanted cats. And there are a lot of like sweaters that feature animals, but it's kind of bands of color work, like the same animal repeated over a band, and then you repeat the same thing again. Like for example, the sheep sweater by Rosa Permar, the one that came viral last year, kind of. It's bands of sheeps repeated. It's super cute, don't get me wrong, but I figured I could probably take it one step further. And something that really fascinates me is, for example, wallpapers. They have a motif and it kind of repeats over the sheets of paper, but it's not like a checkerboard. It's more organic and it repeats, but you cannot really see where the boundaries of the repeats are because they kind of mesh together. I don't know, I just wanted to not have like a box that repeats and you can identify the box like tiles. I wanted something more, a bit more messy where you can, a bit more organic. So I started drawing some cats and then I started like entwining, mixing them, positioning them in different layouts in a box in a way that the box, if repeated next to each other, would look seamless, but you still have the same 3 cats. I mean, I think you get the idea. When I showed you the image, it's just 3 cats and they are repeated, but there is a repeat. There is a box actually, so it cuts the cats. Some cats are like beheaded or stuff like that, but when you knit the box one after the other, it works. But then I ended up with super long floats between the cats because I didn't want them to be too close to each other. So I was like, I need to fill the space with something, and I figured maybe some flowers or things like that, but then you always end up with super long floats at some point. I mean, there are long floats in the cats because they are flat surfaces, but still, I wanted to minimize the super long floats at least. So I figured I should probably just add like how do you say that? In French, it's a tram. Une tram. I'm in front of my computer, I can just look it up. A framework, I guess. Is it really a motif that repeats but has a very, very small scale, like a very small checkerboard. But I didn't want it just checkerboard because when you have like a single stitch in color work, you can lose the definition and it can sometimes look a bit messy, so I just did it 2 over 2. So I did kind of the most stitch of color work, I guess. Or maybe the seed stitch of color work, whatever. I just doubled the stitches on top of each other to have this lovely effect here, this kind of filler between the motifs. And it works. I really needed to do a swatch to be sure that it wasn't going to be too messy or too busy, and it is a little bit busy, but I think overall the fact that there's an outline outside of the cats, I messed up here. That's when I set up some ladderback jacquard stitches and they kind of pick on the right side. Oops. But yeah, I think it can work. Not 100% sure. I'm gonna have to make a bigger swatch, but I ran out of the white yarn. So yeah, I'm gonna have to stop here. However, regarding the yarn, this is the yarn I was planning to use in this design. It's a DK weight, but it's a very, very plump DK weight. It's a woolen spun, so it's like very airy and squishy, and it's wonderful, and I love it. It's awesome. I think if I'm not mistaken, it's the Merino DK by Schaffwoll Spinnerei, I think. It's that mill in Germany. I explained that already, but those leftovers were sent to me by a lovely viewer, Frauke, because she really loved this yarn and thought I would love it too, which I do. It's awesome. However, I think it's a bit too big. Like, the cats are gonna be huge, which is what I wanted, but it's a bit too huge. And I can't really scale them down in the drawing, otherwise I lose details and you cannot recognize they are cats anymore. So I'm gonna have to use a thinner yarn. So I've been wanting to use a yarn from Rosario's Quattro. For a while. It's called Romaria? Yeah, something like that. So the length suggests, the meterage suggests sport weight yarn. It's 320 meters, I think, per 100 grams, something like that. But the suggested gauge is DK, like heavy DK to worsted weight, so not sure about that. But I saw this yarn at the Swiss Yarn Festival, and I saw swatches, and they were knitted up at 22 stitches per 10 centimeters, which is DK weight, but they were kind of loose. And if I do color work, I'm gonna have to have them a bit denser anyway, so I think I can hit a sport weight gauge, actually, which is perfect. Because I haven't measured this, but I think we're almost in the iron weight, despite it being a DK weight yarn. 18 and a half. So yeah, that's worsted weight, actually. And I ran out of battery. I just realized I forgot to remove the tripod from behind me. This is my tripod. Yeah, so it's worsted weight, and it's just too much. I think with the 24 stitch gauge in color work, I'm gonna have smaller cats, and it's just gonna be better overall. So I ordered some yarn to swatch, and hopefully, if it works, I'm gonna get the sweater quantity so that I can cast on the sweater. Now, regarding the cats, what I wanted to say earlier is, you know, some people are cat people, some people are dog people, and some people really hate cats, and some people really hate dogs. And I was like, can I maybe take the chart with the cats and change the cats to be dogs, like in the same positions? There is a cat that's laying in a loaf kind of position, there is one that's just walking, and there is one that's stretching, and I can do a dog that's laying down, a dog that's walking, and a dog that's stretching, and replace the little mouse. Can you even see this is a mouse? I'm not 100% sure, it's really obvious. The dot is not the eye, it's the ear. Can you see the mouse? Yeah, and replace the mouse with, I don't know, a bone or something that's related to dogs, so that you can choose if you want to do the cats or the dogs in the same pattern, and it would just change like the heads probably and the tails, but still be the same garment overall, because the only difference is the chart. What do you think? I think it's a genius idea. Honestly, I'm so proud. Yeah, so I'm just gonna wait until I'm sure I'm really happy with this chart with the cats before I go ahead and modify it to do the dogs, because if I had to move things around, it's gonna be super annoying to do it on two charts. So yeah, for now I'm gonna stop here, wait until I receive the new yarn to swatch, and I'm super excited. I just want to cast on immediately because it's so cute. But yeah, I haven't sorted out the other details of the sweater yet, so I still have to think about that. But I still have the time until the yarn arrives. And I think that's it. I did a little bit of progress on my cowl, but not enough to show you. And I went to the pump track yesterday night, as I told you. It was so crowded. Like I have never been there. I have never seen this many people at the pump track. It is how it is. So of course I didn't film. No, I do have a video that you saw it already, I guess. But yeah, my boss filmed it. He was skating behind me. And at some point I almost fell. I think you can see I did like a and I slowed down a lot doing that, so he almost crashed into me. So that's why the video stops. But yeah, very proud of myself and very proud of my boss and Mr. Tinks that managed to learn a new trick. I think you saw the slow motion videos in the sunset. It was beautiful. It was really fun. Anyway, and the smoothie, the apple kiwi smoothie was excellent. But I still preferred the banana red berries thing. So yeah, there's that. Hi, it's Thursday in the end of afternoon, and are you ready for the most random segment ever? I mean, not ever, but for another one of my very random segments, which will be about plants because, let me explain. I'm not good with plants. Usually they die either very fast or after a year and something. I had a few dead plants around for a while and they just made me sad, but I didn't want to throw them away because it's not as if I had anything else to replace them with. And then I would just have empty pots, which made me sad as well. But every couple of months there is a pop-up store that sells tons of plants, and they go, it's called Plantes pour tous, and they go in lots of cities in Europe. I'm not sure where they are from, maybe it's like Spain or something like that, I'm really not sure, but whatever. Every couple of months they come to Lausanne and they have this big pop-up store and they sell a ton of plants that you usually cannot really find easily around, and I really don't want to order plants because yeah, it's so weird. So I wanted to wait until one of those pop-up happened so that I could throw away the dead plants and replace them with plants that are alive. But the one this spring happened when I was away in Spain for my holidays. And then the next one was in June and I missed it because I had just too much and I just didn't have the time. And there was one starting today until Sunday. I think last time in June I went on the third day because it lasts for 3 days and there was nothing left. So you have to go on the first day, otherwise there's nothing. So today was the first day and I went this morning. And I was pretty reasonable with my shopping. I think I only bought 3 plants, but I want to show them to you because they are really cute. So the first one is this one. This is the only one that I have no idea what it is. It just looked cute, and also when I touched the leaves, they looked kind of thick, which makes me think that it's not gonna be too like if I forget to water it, it's gonna be fine. She's gonna survive. So I think it says Skimdapsus pictus argyraeus. Can you read that? Something. And it's a plant that you can hang, which is great because I don't have a lot of floor space to house my plants. I mean, I have the thing that you see all the time when I'm taking pictures at my place. I have like a shelf kind of situation with little plates sticking out and you can put small plants on top of them, but it's full, so I don't have room anymore. But this one I can hang. It's so pretty! The leaves have such a gorgeous color. It's kind of silvery. It looks like velvety. Wow. It's really cute. I like it very much. I hope it's gonna survive. But I think hanging plants work a bit better for me for some reason. I don't know why. It's the ones that do the best in my home. I don't know if there is something similar, a common point to all hanging plants that I deal great with, but whatever. I hope it's not gonna need too much light because I think I would like to put it here, which is kind of in the middle of the flat. So in between the 2 windows. And it's kind of the darkest place. Not the darkest place in the apartment, but it's kind of dark. I don't know. If you know what this plant is and you know that it needs a lot of light, then tell me. Otherwise I'm gonna try to put it here. In the winter it's probably not gonna work, but in the winter I can move it next to the window because I'm not gonna open the window anymore. At least not this one. So I can put it there. The other one is a plant that I already bought last time, but I killed it. It's this one. It has a very beautiful green tint on the... Oh, that's a wasp. Green tint on the top, but it is purple on the bottom. Oh, it's such a pretty purple. And it's so cute. It says Tradescantia nanook. And last time when I got it, I watered it for a while as I usually do, which is I drowned it in water and then I waited for the pot to, like, all the water to drain, and then I put it back on the plate. And it flowered, so I was like, oh, it's going well. And then it started having spots that I was watering it too much. And I learned afterwards that those plants, when they flower, it's usually because they have too much water. And then it kind of died because when I started giving it less water, it just dried out. So it was either too much water or not enough, and I couldn't find the sweet spot. So I'm gonna try again and hopefully I'm gonna do better this time. It was right next to the window, so it had enough light but not direct sunlight. This is facing northwest. So yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna try again. We'll see. And the last one, if you watch plant content on YouTube, which I don't, but the only person doing plant content that I watch is Plants with Crystal. If you watch any type of plant content on YouTube, I think you know her. And she said, Crystal said, that this plant is great if you have low light in your apartment, which all the places with a lot of light are taken, so this is gonna go in a low light in the living room. It's a asparagus fern, she said. It's so, look at this green, it's so fresh and I don't know, I really like this shade and it's like wiggly. It's really, really cute and it's really soft. I hope it's gonna survive. Apparently it likes humidity, but I have this little guy I can spray on her, and I put demineralized water. So I think that's what we need if you want to spray water on plants. Crystal said this is easy to take care of, so hopefully it's gonna survive. And the last thing battery change. The last thing I bought is one of these. So I had seen them like on Instagram or stuff like that, and I know the concept, but I didn't want it to like order some online if I wasn't even sure it was gonna work. So I found one on the pop-up store, so I decided to try. So the idea is that this is in... there's a helicopter now. The idea is that they are made in terracotta, how do you call that? It should be written here. Ceramic, they are made in ceramics, and the bottom here is not glazed, so you put water in them and the water is gonna feed into the soil slowly because the material is porous, so water can go through it. And it's called, if I'm not mistaken, an Oya. It's written O-double-L-A, but I think it's pronounced Oya. However, it's big. I definitely don't have the room to put this in one of the small plants, but I have a big one here. So I think I'm gonna put that in here and see if I like it. And if I do, I'm gonna buy more for the rest of the plants, or the big plants, which I really don't have a lot of. Anyway, that's all for this very random and weird segment. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any advice for me to help those survive, I'll take it. Hi, it's Friday, time to close off the vlog. By the way, I completely forgot to tell you for how long this summer vlog series was gonna go for. Would have been quite nice to say it from the beginning. I was planning to do them until next Monday because this Saturday, meaning tomorrow actually, is it Friday? Yeah, is it tomorrow? There is the... Okay, if you watched last year's Summer Knitting Journals, you know already what this is. It's the festival Electroclette. And if you speak French, yes, it's exactly what you heard. But I'm gonna explain in detail what this festival is when I film the intro of the last episode, because it's gonna be more relevant then. So for now, just know that the series is gonna end on Monday after the festival, and hopefully I'm not gonna lose my voice like last year, but again, I will talk about that in the last episode, episode 7. It was a blast. It's not finished yet, but yeah, it's almost done. And I'm kind of over it, so I'm glad it's almost the end because I'm slowly getting out of stuff to film because it's kind of always the same, like pump track, gonna do the groceries, doing stuff in my blender, and I started cooking yesterday at least because it's cooled down, so I wanted to cook again. I mean, wanted. It was bothering me a little bit less to cook. But yeah, I'm just kind of over it, slowly but surely. Anyway, about my knitting. So, I did a bit of progress on the cowl. I can show you. I finished the first section. You're not gonna see a massive difference. But here, so it's gonna be like this here. And this is the back. And this is the seam that's gonna be on the back. And here, I just, can you see here? There is a little corner. I just started working in this direction. And let me grab the other one to show you. So what I just showed you is this piece. So here, it's where I cast on. I worked in this direction. And what I showed you here is this corner here. So I'm still far from being done, but it's progressing slowly but surely as well. And it's so soft and it's so nice and I'm so happy. And my mom is going to be so happy. And I'm just super excited to give it to her. So that's for that. And then I don't think I touched this. It's the same state as before. I was just more interested in progressing on the cowl. But for the festival, I'm going to need a portable project. And this is lace, so it's kind of annoying to knit on. I mean, it's like yarn over, knit two together, and I kind of have to fight with the needles because it's the yarn is not very stretchy. So yeah, I'm still going to have to think what project I'm going to bring with me to the festival. But again, I'm going to talk about that in the next episode. Then, I showed you already this guy, and I've been thinking about what to do with the overall design, because it's for a sweater, but there are lots of possible ways to implement a colorwork chart in a sweater. My basic idea was to do like all over colorwork. However, there is a major problem with that because I really wanted to make it bottom up because I've never designed a sweater that way. And I have knit a couple and I really enjoy it. It's like you can cast on the stitches for the body and you're just knitting for a while and you don't have to think and you can get used to the chart and to the yarn and to the project in general. And then when you get to the complicated part, you know what you're doing. So it's kind of a different type of process and I really enjoy it as well. And I just wanted to change because I've always been doing bottom-up stuff, top-down stuff. However, since this chart is going to be gigantic, even with the thinner yarn, it's still going to be like this high, I think. I'm going to have to chart the shaping in colorwork, I think. I would love to be able to tell you just maintain the colorwork chart and do the shaping as instructed. I would love to do that, but I know a lot of people cannot maintain that. So I'm going to have to chart them. The mic ran out of battery. It wasn't the camera this time, it was the mic. So I continued talking for 10 minutes and I have to refilm it. Not sure I'm going to remember everything I said, but I was talking about the colorwork sweater and that I needed to chart the underarm shaping. But when you work something bottom up, it means that when you make it to the underarm and you have to start the shaping, you have to be at a very specific part of the chart, otherwise you're not aligned anymore with what's charted. Which means you need to work the body to exactly the length the pattern tells you, otherwise you're not going to be at the same point. Unless you add a whole other chart repeat, but since it's going to be huge, it's going to double the length of the body basically. And it's not possible to tell you the body can be this length and that's it, deal with it. It's just no. So the other option would be to start the cats or dogs chart here, a bit before you not separate for sleeve because it's going to be sticked. Did I tell you that? I want it to be very, like, I want the sweater to be made in a very traditional way and also sticked so that you can work all the color work in the round and you cut open the arms opening. So you would start the cats or dogs chart with a bit before you set up the stick for the armhole, a bit like in those type of sweater, like the very classic ski fleece, après-ski kind of things. Meaning that under this part you can work either nothing at all, I mean just stockinette, or a different color work chart that can be smaller. And that's why I drew the little paw next to the cats I did. It's so that maybe you can like have the bottom of the body here be just little paws, and then you can work the body to the length you want, and then you resume the pattern here and work the chart as written. However, then we get very close to the layout of, for example, the Patagonia peaks, and I absolutely love this type of sweater and I would love to make another one, but I really wanted this sweater to be just all over color work, all over the same thing, because it's just a different style, and I wanted to do this particular style all over the same color work. I love the pose idea, it's really cute, but yeah, I don't know, it's just not, I'm struggling to make up my mind. I love the idea of having two different motifs, but it's not exactly what I wanted. And the other option would be to make it top down. That way you can do the yoke exactly as instructed, and when you separate, I mean when you start working the body in the round, you can just do whatever you want with the length. But I really wanted to make it bottom up. So I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to think about it, because there is also an issue with top down, is that you cannot change the yoke depth. For example, when you finish the shoulder shaping and you knit straight for a little bit before starting the underarm shaping, you cannot change this part either, because the bottom, the underarm is charted, so if you modify it, you're not at the same point of the chart anymore, which is not necessarily a problem. Some people can absolutely deal with that just fine, but yeah. Maybe I just do it bottom up and I just say maintain the chart. What do you think? If there is a big chart, like with the cats, the one I showed you, and it's like, you start here at the bottom and you start repeating the chart all over the body, there's gonna be two columns of like main color, contrast color, main color on each side, so that I don't have any issues, because the chart is huge, so I cannot have full repeats of the chart between sizes. So I'm going to add 4 seams here so that I can end the chart at any point. So you're just going to repeat the chart, for example, 3.5 times on the front and 3.5 times on the back. And when you set up the sticks for the armhole, you are still aligned with the charts you have established until now. And what do you think if I tell you maintain the colorwork motif as established while working the shaping, the underarm shaping as follows? Do you think it's doable? Like, if you have spent this much of the body working a colorwork chart, even if it's super complicated, do you think it's okay to do the instructions like that, or do you think you would be completely lost? Please let me know. And then for the rest of the sweater, so my idea was to do it crew neck with an option to do cardigan, so you can stick the front too. And I think I'm gonna do that for mine. I think I'm gonna make a cardigan. And I'm also thinking how to maybe implement pocket, since you're gonna stick anyway. Maybe you could also add sticks here to have some pockets on the sides. I'm just thinking. I have a lot of ideas and I just don't want the pattern to be too complicated. But also, it would be so nice to have pockets in this type of sweater. I don't know, just thinking out loud. But I'm not gonna get the yarn until next week anyway, so I still have a few days to think about it, and I'm not gonna work on this design anyway this weekend because I'm gonna be out at the festival. I don't even think I'm gonna talk about it again in the last episode. So yeah, that's about it. I had something else to tell you. Yeah, it was regarding the test for the secret design. It has started. I have contacted the selected testers by email. Thank you so much for all your applications. I was overwhelmed as usual. And I'm very happy that this is finally on the go, because it has been a while. I've been working on this for a while, so finally I can start working on the next things, which is, I just sent out the Melon Cowl to my tech editor, and I'm gonna hopefully do a bit of progress on the melon hat this afternoon. And that's about it, I think. So thank you so much for watching this episode up until now. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe if you don't want to miss out on any future content from me. Thank you for your support, thank you for your likes, thank you for your comment, thank you for everything. I hope to see you again next time. Happy knitting. I love you. Bye.
Na, na,